there's hope. And to be able to take anybody, because maybe you're doing okay right now with life, but I guarantee you there's somebody you know out of your 10 friends that's not doing well. And that you can bring hope. And you can bring gratitude to their lives. That they can turn the tide in how they're thinking and what they're thinking about. Because the opposite of being joyful is just being sad. And the opposite of praying is going and talking to your friends about everything and never really talking to God about it. Did you hear what happened with Sally? Oh man, did you see what happened? And just talking to everybody else, but never really talking to God about it. Where does that go? How does that work? Does that lead to joy and happiness in your life? And looking at your circumstance right now, or the circumstance that was really bad not too long ago, and trying to find thankfulness in that? If you don't, what does it lead to? Spiraling thoughts, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Hey, they looked at me. Oh, I could do this to get money. Or I could sell that to get money. The opposite of, doing God's will for your life, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. It is just pain. It leads to depression. It leads to being anxious. It leads to lots of anxiety. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Being worried about all kinds of things and just being down. That's why this is here, I think. Because earlier in the chapter he's talking about, hey, he's going to come back again. Here's what's going to happen, all this stuff. Be ready and be a part of the community. And then he talks about how to live in the community. It's supposed to be practical. And I just get a feeling sometimes we do just the opposite of what's supposed to be happening. Okay? For this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. You ever wonder, hey, what's God's will for my life? Anyone ever asked that at some point?
Yeah.
What should I do for school? Should I go to Starbucks and be a freelance author and drink lots of coffee and work for them? That person knows who they are. Or what's God's will for my life? Right? And so this is God's will for your life. This is one of the, it's just right there. Take some time to rejoice. Even if you don't feel like rejoicing. And I'm not saying, thankfulness in that is just a pill for happiness. Because there's some real things that go on in life that you just can't just be, it's going to be optimistic anyway. But when you can give thanks and rejoice and have gratitude in the nastiest situation, that says a lot about you. And this is a lot about me. And I've not yet reached that. But what's cool about the verse is it says, this is God's will for you in Jesus. So what does that mean? If it's God's will for you to do that, well, let me just suggest that as time goes on, He's working in your life to do that. Because you're His workmanship. He's responsible for you in your life. When you give your life over to Him, He takes over and He moves in. And what you can't do, He eventually will do. So I find a lot of hope in it because even if I'm not praying all the time and if I'm not rejoicing all the time and not being grateful, as I look at my life, if you stop and just do a snapshot of your life quick, have you gotten a little more grateful and thoughtful and mindful of things than you were when you were younger? Right? That's what happens, and that's what God does in us and is working through us. It's His will for you to be thankful in all circumstances and situations. Here's some things. I'm going to show you another video of something that you can consider being thankful for.